Hey kids, Dean with Crypto the Wonder Dog. Got blasting out there. We had Nakia J. White from HouseAfrica.io on today. She had some updates for us where they're going into their private sale soon. And it's solving a problem. It's not just raising money to raise money. The housing crisis in Africa is something that needs to be looked at, and they are solving, I believe. So check it out, HouseAfrica.io. And this is the show. There's a little glitch in the beginning with some audio stuff, and I'm still having that. I got this new stupid OBS software, and my audio is not working right. The video is choppy. I don't understand. I don't know if these guys are working on that to fix it. I don't know if I'm the only one having this issue. But if you're on iTunes listening to this and you're not having to worry about that crap. I was scolded today. I don't know if I was scolded. I was put up a show with Bo Ploney the other day, and had a guy comment that the interviewer seems to have done no preparation for the interview, and I don't do that. I don't know if if I'm lazy. I don't know if I don't have the short term attention memory to do that so that I sound intelligent when I'm talking to these people, but I don't want to. I want to sound like I'm just talking with them. I don't want to pretend to be any kind of a crypto expert at all or blockchain expert, because I'm not pretending to be one. And I tell you right now, I'm not one. I just enjoy talking to the people. I think it's a fascinating world. I think it's something that's going to change the lives of many people. I think the financial benefits are still to see. I think that they are going to change. I think that this is something that might come back from what is $4,500 today to $10,000 by the end of the month, by the mid of December. I don't know, but it sounds cool to hope so. I mean, why would you scoff at somebody who hopes that to happen? And then if it does happen, oh, I knew it. No, you didn't know it. So whatever. But I don't know. I don't care. I'm going to keep doing the show my way because it's my show. My show, I pay for it. I do all the work myself. If I don't do preparation, or if I do preparation, it's because I chose to, but no one's paying me to do this. These guys aren't paying me to be on my show. They're just on here because they enjoy talking to me and I enjoy talking with them. So if you don't like it, don't watch it. And Simon, whatever the hell your name is, Simon Phillips, learn how to take your cap locks off. Anyway, this is my show. I'll do what the hell I want. And if you want to pay me, I'll do what you want. But until then, it's my show. So anyway, this is my show with Nakia. She's cool. She rocks. I enjoy talking with her. And she's over in Africa, in Kenya, trying to solve some problems. And that's what it should be all about. You know, not whether or not that I did my preparation. Obviously, I got you to watch the show. So there you go. You guys ready to start the show? All right, let's start the show. Be one of those guys that asks a question that's going to put somebody in a corner. I'm like, no, you know. And I'm like, you obviously haven't watched any of my shows because I don't prepare for anything. I just start talking because it's fun this way, right? We're learning together.
Yeah.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah. Have we started?
Yeah. Well, I'll cut all that beginning part out and we'll start. Okay. We'll start again.
Okay.
See?
All right.
It's obvious I don't prepare for these.
No, but you know what? It's okay. You know what I mean? Because
okay,
I think you have much more of a a very organic conversation.
That's what it wants. That's what I want it to be. I just want it to be a conversation. You know, if people want hard, they should watch Hardball with Chris Mathers. You know, go on that show.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're my friend.
Yeah.
You're my friend. I don't want to be a bully.
I don't want you to be either.
Yeah. So okay. So you said, hey, I got some more stuff to talk about. Let's what's going on?
So we are finally launching, and we're launching obviously by doing our private sale December the 1st.
Yeah, I'm looking at your website right now. It says private sale starts in 9 days, 23 hours, 53 minutes, and 18 seconds.
Woo, pressure.
Look at that.
The pressure is on. But yeah, we're doing the private sale December the 1st, more than likely the whole month of December. But we're going to start the December the 1st. And so really we're looking to raise money to, fully complete the platform, do marketing, but more importantly, really start to build, the units that we wanted to build, which is repurposing shipping containers.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, for homing, so, yes, housing.
Yeah, for home. So, what's happening is in a place like Kenya is that you have, 43 million people, give or take, on the continent. And, 77% of those people are renters. And some of them don't have access, majority of them don't have access to decent and affordable housing, right?
Yeah.
And so what's important to us and what our vision is as HouseAfrica is to make sure that we develop housing and we give access, particularly for young people, between the ages of like 25 to 35. Yeah. Because a lot of the people in that demographic, once they graduate college and they start to work and they get their first jobs, they typically have to move further out of the city center where they work to be able to afford those prices. Moreover, they don't have access to home ownership. So our plan is to, rent these houses at really, really affordable prices for the demographic that we're looking at. And then a year or two, we graduate them into purchasing the homes.
Oh, good.
We want to make sure that they do everything on our platform, the HouseAfrica platform, which is built on top of waves. And so that they understand the benefit of kind of using blockchain and what it means. And then they can use that same platform to buy a home within a year or two or whenever they're ready, quite frankly.
Yeah. Well, good. Because, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and he was talking that, it's no longer that you buy a house for shelter. It's an investment now. And, it needs to go back to shelter.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it is shelter and it has to be really decent shelter. And so that's what we really want to do is be able, again, the vision is to be able to build, houses for young Africans in our first phases in Kenya, but just to be able to build houses for them and make sure that they have access to decent housing and decent shelter. And obviously, a way to wealth is getting on the property ladder. So that's important too. And not only as an investment, but just to have an asset as an adult, right? Because I think that's kind of the graduation to adulthood when you do say you can have an asset or two. So, and not to mention kind of the macroeconomics of it, it really does help an entire economy to grow when you have more people owning homes. And not just investing, but really owning and investing in those cities or communities in which they live.
Yeah, and yeah, it helps your mental state. It helps your confidence. You feel better. You're more productive at work, and it's all around better. Because even in America, even myself, there was a time whenever I had to live in my car for a couple of weeks because I was in transition. I didn't have a place to live, so. Yeah, they think that you come to America that it's the land of opportunity and everyone's got gigantic bank accounts, and that's not always the thing. But then you get into a third world country where you are, and and it's even harder. So
We're actually a developing country.
I
We're no
developed.
longer
Sorry, a developing country. Yes, yes. Sorry.
no longer third world. It made quite amazing here actually, but yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I think people, and I think the difference between places like the United States and here. Actually, let me just get rid of this right here because this is going to continue to make noise. I think the difference in places like the United States and here is that in the United States there's a social system that really works very well, and here it's kind of you have what you have, and that's I think why it's equally as important to have an asset, because if there's a situation like that comes up where you don't have money or you have a rough time, at least you have an asset that you can liquidate.
Yeah.
But in the United States, there, we get, social support in some senses. Maybe not the best, but certainly there's a safety net there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a veteran and I get a few benefits here and there, but if, there was a time when I was looking to buy a house, and even with the amount of money that I was making in Orange County, living in Orange County, I didn't qualify for anything. And
really?
it was hard for me to even get an apartment. Apartments out here, $1,500 for a studio. And it was me and my daughter. And to get a 2-bedroom apartment, it's more expensive than most people are paying for their house. If you bought a house, 15, 20 years ago. But the rent out here it's got to a point where there's even commercials during the election about a woman who works in a hospital. She's got 2 kids. She can't afford to live. She can't live in a house by herself with just her kids. She has to have other family members living there to support it, because the housing is so high now. You can't live, and it's ridiculous. Somebody really needs to step in and say, look, just because I want to live in Orange County doesn't mean that my entire paycheck needs to go to my rent or to my house payment. But something's got to give, and I mean, like I said, even in America, but I can't imagine what But you got to think that everyone wants to live in Orange County. We're in Orange County where they make all these TV shows, and so we're right next to Hollywood. There's no parking here. I mean, there's parking here as opposed to LA, where there's no parking. You can park on the streets here and not get a ticket. Go to LA, you're guaranteed you're going to get a ticket. So it's, I don't know how I got off on that.
Yeah. But I mean, it's an interwoven story, and I think that is really kind of what you're saying, is that housing is a problem across the world.
It is, and the rich people are taking advantage of it. Like the Irvine company, they keep the rent so high that it's that little teetering edge. They know where that little teetering edge where they're doctors and lawyers are living in apartments, and so
incredible.
Yeah, it needs to go back to shelter and not an investment, and not keeping the rich richer.
I was going to make a comment on that, but I'll hold my comments for our political conversation later. I mean, listen, what's important to us is that, we get the word out there as HouseAfrica about our private sale, and that we're able to, build houses and give access to young Africans to be able to rent these houses at a really fair price, and really decent, well-built, well-thought-out houses. That's really what's important to us, because there is no reason in a country like this that, regular people who are working don't have access to, decent, well-built, affordable housing. There's no reason for that. And so we know that that's a big problem, and we know that the numbers will start to balloon first in 2035, with most of the people in Africa being head of the household between those 25, 35-year-old, and then ballooning even more than that by 2050, where 1 out of 4 people in the world will be African.
Wow.
So, in order, and listen, we can't depend on the government of Kenya or Nigeria
No.
or South Africa to do it. They really have a desire to get it done, but they also need help in accomplishing it. And they just don't have the capacity. I don't think that many governments have the capacity to house all of their citizens. So,
No, they don't.
It's not just kind of always looking at the government and saying, hey, you guys need to do this, but really kind of adding and aiding to what the government, or supplementing what the government is doing, and making sure that we all together help to solve the problem.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So, has your team grown any since last time we talked? I was cruising here through your team.
Yeah, we're actually hiring. We're looking for brand ambassadors right now.
Brand ambassadors.
So I can share some links with you later, and maybe you can put it on the bottom of the sheet. But yeah, we're looking for brand ambassadors now, at least until the end of our ICO, which we think might be like February or something, or end of January, early February. So, we're hiring for that. And then obviously for our first phase of the project, we'll really be hiring up in terms of, staff in both Nigeria and Kenya, where we're housed right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're cruising through your website right now. You can't see it on your side, but we're looking at it as we're speaking. And it's the HAF token, right?
Yeah, the HAF token. Yes.
Okay. And it's at 2.5 cents right now. Is that what people can buy it for at the private sale or pre-sale?
The token is actually at 0.025. And in supply, we have about 2.5 billion in supply at the moment. So yeah, they can buy it at 0.025. They can, pair it with a BTC, Ethereum, or Litecoin.
Got it. Okay. Very nice. I love some of the pictures on your site here. Find your dream home, and wow, this is really cool.
Worked really hard on it.
I bet. Yeah, it looks like it. Very nice. Very nice.
Very much.
Yeah. Ethereum. Yeah, I see Ethereum, Bitcoin, Waves. Your hard cap is 30 million.
Our hard cap is 30 million.
Okay.
Our soft cap is 2 million, but we know that we'll be able to reach that or something incredibly close.
Yeah.
But that's why it's important to really get out the word about it and kind of, share the information about what we really want to do.
Sure.
And, when you think about our project, you think about not only are we building houses, we're using containers, we're recycling, all of the products that we're using to kind of fit out the house will be all self-sustainable or ecologically, there'll be recyclable fittings for the house. I was trying to think of the whole phrase. But equally important, and I think when it relates to blockchain, which is incredibly close to my heart, is that we'll have a level of transparency, not only for renters who will be using the platform to pay their rent and to pay potentially their utility bills, but we'll also be using the platform for, other people who are interested in the project to now buy into the project.
Yeah. Right.
Because we believe in making sure that Africa meets its full potential, that young people have access to housing, and that there are contribution, benefits to what we're doing. Right. So we know that we'll have, pretty good, ROI in like a year and a half to 2 years. And we have other plans as well in terms of kind of talking to some other international institutions about joining us on the project. I don't want to name any right now, okay. But, really, really strong international institutions joining us on the project and really kind of revving up what we want to do. Because again, not only is the access to housing an issue, but transparency is a huge issue where
it is,
you must have, a developer that builds 500, 600 units, affordable housing, and then you have some kind of, big investor or politician that now through corruption is able to get access to a whole block of them and then raise the rents, right?
Buy
Because
them and raise the
there's
rent.
not rent control here. But with our platform, people using our platform, both people who are contributing and the renters, we're able to now verify who these people are through AML and KYC protocol, right? And we're able to now do the leases through smart contract protocol, on waves again. And so, this whole issue of, kind of money that comes in a lot of countries throughout the world that's supposed to go for a good cause, lost. We could talk about all of the money that went to Haiti, right? And the majority of that was lost.
Yeah.
Lost. And very, very little of that. Yeah. I'm being politically correct. And with that went to the people. But what we want to make sure with our project is that we're able to be transparent all the way through, and we're able to make sure that we can count every last single coin that goes into the project, where it goes for marketing, where it goes for our staff. We want to be transparent that way. And we know that other organizations that we've been speaking with would be incredibly pleased with that and already have shown interest. So, again, we're just excited about the future and what can happen using blockchain, particularly for transparency.
Yeah. Okay. When you start building these, do you get companies like Pfizer or the components that go into the houses? Like the what am I trying to say here? Like the toilets and the fixtures and everything like that. Do you have other bigger companies that are coming in and giving you guys great deals on this stuff, or is that part just of the builder? Is that their responsibility?
Yeah, that's part of the builder responsibility. Okay. But we are looking to, there's one company actually in Kenya that we're looking to have a chat with, and they do because right now a lot of people are either using coal or really kind of dangerous gas containers. But this one company is looking to kind of transform that and use ethanol. So that's one of the conversations we're looking to have. So more, not necessarily like the fittings, but more really about what is environmentally safe for people to use in these type of spaces, and what makes the most sense. I mean, things like the toilets and the sinks, we can really do them very beautifully, very cheap. Again, I won't name any companies because I don't want to give away anything, but I can tell you that they're there. But we do want to make sure that when we're building, we're thinking about, not only making sure that people have access to affordable housing, but that the environment in which we're building is also safe and environmentally friendly for the future.
Good. All right. Okay. Got that. Now, you were talking about these people that come in and they buy up land and from these developments, and they raise the rent on it. Will it go the other way if you keep this affordable housing? Does that bring in the riffraff that starts bringing down the neighborhood? Is there any kind of security or what do we have? We have the housing. Oh God, this is awesome radio right now. Not what am I trying to say? The owners association, like owner association, where you keep certain things nice and you keep the land pretty, you keep your yard up, things like that. And if riffraff comes in, you try to weed them out. Is that you have things in place for that?
Yeah, so what we're doing for that, it's something really interesting. And we actually kind of looked at China as our example, is we're looking at social credits, right? We're kind of working out the social credit piece. So if you're a renter and you pay your rent on time, let's say by the 3rd of every month, on time every month, you get a certain amount of social credits. If if no one is reporting that you're playing loud music or whatever, you get a certain amount of, social credit. So depending on kind of your interaction, not only with the platform and how well you do, but also with your community, you get a certain amount of social credit. So in a year or two or even 3, when you're ready to get your mortgage, we can take those social credits and say, like, listen, this is a really good tenant. And we believe, based on how well they've done, not only in paying their rent and all things like that, and with their community, we believe that they also will be good homeowners, thus good, people who can, pay their mortgage. So the way for us to curtail kind of the riffraff is really using social credits, because you can also report a neighbor and say, this person has been playing loud music, and obviously, we're actually working on kind of a more refined structure. But like, someone could say, this person is playing loud music, and if that's reported 3 or 4 times, then you also get deductions on your social credit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So then we can now ask you, based on like, our smart contract, because there will be rules on that. And also social credits, we can now say, hey, this is not working out. This is not the environment we want to create. We're going to disinvite you from living here,
Disinvite you. That's such a nice word.
So yeah, it's really important that we kind of check. And like, a lot of times here, the way that the situation is set up is that if you have a piece of land, you gate your whole land off. And then you also, like, you have a security guard at that gate, or what they call here is an escortee. You have them at the gate, and then as you're coming in and out, they're able to like take down your license plate, ask you who you're going to see. So that's even a double check, just in terms of, general security.
Yeah. Very cool. I like everything that you're doing. I wish they had some kind of thing like that over here.
But they do. But again, I think you said it earlier, like, you have to be like in the droves of like despair sometimes.
Yeah. I don't think I want to live with, it's like, in Moreno Valley. I used to live in Moreno Valley, which is over by Riverside. I was in the Air Force over there, and I wanted to stay in that area, but the housing got to a point where it was so cheap that it started bringing in all the gang members from, there was a horrible problem with the Bloods and the Crips. That was actually a thing in our little town there. And now you go over there, and you can tell they used to be nice houses, and they're just run down. The people that moved in, they just didn't care, and no one wants to live there now, and it's dangerous. It wasn't at one time, but it is now. I would hope that they're trying to clean that up, but I think after March Air Force Base moved the active duty members out, and it was just kind of reserve base. I went in there one time with my kids, and I went to the barracks where I used to live, and it was like a halfway house now for ex-military that trying to get back on their feet, get out of drugs, and and once they get out of there, they go back into that community. And what's the success rate once you come out of that? And if you have anything else, you're going to go right back to where you were. So I don't know what the issue. I don't know what the solution is. I don't know
what the solution is either, actually. But I'm glad that we're helping to fix one here.
Yes, so, me too. And hopefully you guys can blaze a trail for others to follow in the footsteps, and they'll be like HouseAfrica, House Mexico, House Orange County.
Yeah, and you know what? There's enough room for everyone in this market. Honestly, because people. So like in Nigeria, there's about, I think, 1.9 million people that lack access to decent and affordable housing.
Oh my God.
Somewhere like Botswana, I think I read the number of like 450,000 people. So listen, there's enough, I think, in so many of these countries where, hopefully we'll be able to go to, but even if other people, to solve the problem, and do it in a way where people aren't getting ripped off, and like they aren't being like, cheated or lied to or given something shoddy. Like even some of the houses here, because there's like completely, we have the Chinese that are coming here, and it is a building boom like you've never seen. I've studied it for grad school in Beijing and Shanghai, and I remember seeing some of the tallest buildings ever, and just really dense spaces, and the air isn't good. There's no space for anything. And here in Kenya, they're starting to build kind of these really high houses, tall buildings. They're cutting down trees left and right. And so, just as a matter of building, they are, taking away a lot of the green space. And it's really what makes Kenya quite beautiful. It's just kind of going down a tree-lined street after street. It's like that. But here's what I know is that those houses that are being built in kind of these quasi upmarket communities where, the rents can range anywhere between 1,500 for a 3-bedroom all the way to like 3,000. And so if you have the majority of the population in Kenya, 60 to 65% that are only making about, let's say, 2,000 a month, anywhere between 1,500 to 2,000 a month, they're not affording these big houses. They're not affording the houses in kind of the upmarket and the mid upmarket demographic. So a lot of these houses are left empty, but it also leaves young people to go further out to get kind of shoddy housing and then, commute an hour or two back into the city to work around basically big buildings that are empty. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense to me. And they are going up at such a rapid pace. It is just unbelievable here. Like, I've been here for 5 years, and the landscape of, places like, I'm just going to name some communities, like places like Kilimani and Kileleshwa and Milimani, they have completely transformed, and not in the best way.
Wow.
And it's unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, that's what's happening. So we want to make sure that, we build quality housing that makes sense and that's people can live in and can afford and will be proud of and can eventually buy. I mean, simple, right? It's like, it's a simple solution, right? So, yeah.
Well, yeah, because you want to get back to the time in America, or even over there, where you have a family house. Your parents grew up in the house. You grew up in that house. You move away. You come back for holidays or whatever. But it's kind of going away. I mean, there's so many people that live in apartments now. You don't have that family house, and people don't get to go back to your childhood home. It's we used to live in that apartment building back. We lived there for about 6 months. And we moved somewhere else. So it's nice to have set up roots or grow roots or put down roots.
Yeah, and I think the great thing about this is like a 20-something or a 30-something will be able to buy like one of these really well-built containers. And then as their family grows, they can always add on, or move it to like, wherever they're going. So it's not like it has to just be there. You can't go anywhere. You could literally move this house.
Move the whole house.
And
wow.
And you can. And you can add on to it, right? So it becomes
You're modular. Yeah.
So if you rent a 20-footer, you can then, say, what, I want to expand this and I want to buy a 40-footer. And then you can put the 40-footer on the bottom, the 20-footer on top. And now you have, a 2-floor kind of, decent house, or you can put them side by side and make the width bigger. I mean, I think that there are a lot of options that you can do, and this house can literally grow with you. So if you're 25, 26, 35, 36, and now you're kind of like, I'm just kind of starting out in my career. And as you start to kind of, become more successful and grow up the ladder, you can expand. It's not a, it's not one of those things where it's static. And I think that's what's also exciting about this is that, as you grow, the house can grow with you. And as you move, play around places in Kenya, the house can also move with you.
Yeah. Hey, what would be cool is if you got some guys like Chip and Joanna Gaines and came over there and did some really cool
Do
Well,
you
not
know
all
them?
Texans know every other Texan, but
Okay.
I did grow up
Dang
in
it.
Texas. But I, I, I,
But do you
I
know
guess
them? But
we
seriously, do
missed
you know
each
them?
other. No, I don't. I wish I did. I mean, they're not that hard to
Dang
get a
it.
hold of, though. I mean, Magnolia
Like
Farms,
that. How do you tease me and say
Magnolia
I
Farms.
know them?
But Waco's not that big, you know. I mean, I'm sure they would be super easy to get a hold of. They're Magnolia Farms in Waco, Texas.
Okay.
Magnolia Farms, Waco.
Maybe that's a
That would be
maybe
such a great thing to. Maybe I'll try to see if I can get a hold of them and introduce them to you, and
that'll be great. It'll be great.
because they could
And you
come
know
over
who
there.
else?
Who?
Do you know Serena Williams' husband? Do you know him?
Yeah,
You know?
we play tennis all the time together.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I talk to you, Dean.
Yeah,
Like,
everybody
come
in Orange
on,
County and LA knows
no?
everybody else. We all go to each other's house for all the
Yeah,
holidays. Yes.
exactly. That's see, I knew. There's a reason we were talking. Oh,
I'm sure I could find him. You know, who is he? What I didn't know. I don't know anything about him. What does he do?
oh the
Serena Williams.
Serena Williams' husband,
Yeah, who is it?
like a co-founder of Reddit.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Get out. Well, I have a buddy who is a big time tennis news guy. He has like some kind of gigantic following. But we used to be friends a long time ago. We actually did some movies together. But he moved into the world of tennis, so he might actually have a connection there. I don't know.
So please make the connection. Would you be able to hold on for 1 second?
Yeah, your video just froze.
1 second.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead. Yeah,
Hold on one.
sure.
Hold on. Okay, that's better.
Is it? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think it would be really cool if we could get some of these guys that do remodeling and flipping and get those involved with this to go over there and just kind of do a little promotion, design a couple of these houses, and make it like a little cookie cutter where the other builders would come in and just kind of do the same thing to the other houses.
And use our platform, obviously,
Yes, absolutely.
to make sure. So that's what we're saying. I think there's a lot of room for people to build. Certainly if especially if they use our platform to make sure that everything stays transparent and clear for everyone on both sides of the equation. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
So listen, I think, for those of you who are interested in House Africa, you can look at www.houseafrica.io. And then, Dean, you'll be able to have links for us at the bottom, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have the screen up right now. We're going to put all of your links. You just email me over everything that you want to share, and they can go here. Who can buy? Who can buy these tokens? Who's invited to?
Not people in the U.S.
Of course not.
Not people in the U.S. for sure. Not people in China. So there's a whole disclaimer that I'll send you as well. So everyone else, mostly everywhere else in the world, but definitely not the U.S. Not even third party purchases from the U.S.
Wow.
Can we accept?
Okay.
In China. So sorry, Dean.
Yeah, it happens.
Sorry about that. But yeah, join our private cell, kind of, join our Telegram group. And again, the links will be at the bottom. We'll be happy to have you and talk to you more. And hopefully I'll be having kind of a talk to the CEO session fairly soon where we can kind of talk about, what we're doing and how we're coming along, and particularly doing videos of when we start to build, and making sure that the entire community gets to see that as well.
Yeah, I'd love to have some video on here of walkthrough of one of these cubicles and well, that's containers.
That's what we're raising money to do now.
Yeah, and
we have a beautiful site. It is the most beautiful site. We've partnered with there is a founder of a university out here, and we've partnered with him, and he's really interested in helping to solve this problem. His name is Hamza, and he the property is about 2 acres or 1.5 acres, I think. But it abuts this farm, and it has like beautiful fruit trees. And, so as soon as you go there, it's I would say about 45 minutes outside of Nairobi. But as soon as you go there, and we're going to be building our R&D site there. But literally, as soon as you go there, it is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean, just fruit trees and palm trees. Wow. It is just so beautiful. Oh. So perfect site to have that. So
wow. Very nice. Okay. Well, I can't wait to see that stuff. I'd love to, hopefully next time we can. I know we talked about coming over there. I think we should do a Crypto the Wonder Dog traveling show and come over there and hang out with you for a while.
We talked about that. What's going on, buddy? Well, what's happening with that?
Well, we need to get a couple of sponsors behind us so we can make that happen. I got my passport updated, and we talked about the shot thing the other day.
Talked about
I am terrified.
But even
needles.
before you come, you should try to get shots before you come, because there are a lot of shots. I mean, if you're being, I mean, really, all you need is the yellow fever shot. If you haven't had a tetanus. And maybe hepatitis, but the World Health Organization, who recommends you get many, many more than that. But I mean,
I know
it's great, but it will make you sick for sure. So if you can get it way ahead of time,
okay, all right.
That would be great.
All right, well, let's see if we can find a sponsor to put the Wonder Puppy on a plane and come over there and hang out with you.
Cool, that'll be great.
All right.
So I think we're at probably 37 minutes.
Yeah.
So I know you don't want to keep it too long.
We're going to try to keep about 30 minutes worth of show here, and so people can digest it and want to come back for more. And I got another. I know we were talking about this earlier. I got another guy that responded to me, and he says, we were talking about how, a guy commented on one of my shows that I don't prepare, which I don't, but this other guy came in and said, Dear Wonder Dog, they say if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. Preparation and quality is reflected in the lackluster video views and view numbers equals fail. So thanks for that. He doesn't even have a real name. It's just some squiggles for a name. And I don't even know what country that's from, but I appreciate that. I'll take that into consideration. But I guess I'm just that lazy where I don't prepare. I want to have a conversation. I don't prepare when I go to my friend's house to go hang out with them. I just go over and hang out or watch a football game. I don't prepare to watch a football game. I just go watch a football game. So when I talk to my friend Josie, Nikita. I'm not going to prepare because you're my friend. I don't have to. You're my buddy. We go way back.
Right. We go way back from the neighborhood. Way back, Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. I always enjoy having you on.
And, thank you.
Yeah. Have you got any more news really soon? I mean, let's do it again.
Let me talk about this problem and this solution that is so near and close to my heart and the Clo founder's heart. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
And again, we're having our private sale. I hate to plug it again, but I'm going to plug it one more time.
Plug it, baby. Plug it.
We're having our private sale. for the 1st, and hopefully it'll go through Christmas. It'll be an absolutely amazing Christmas gift to now, contribute to this project and hopefully see, well, not even hopefully, but definitely see returns on the project. So, continue to kind of follow us and check us out. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. We're going to be opening up a Instagram page soon, particularly when we start building the site. So yeah,
that'd be cool.
Definitely.
That'd be awesome. All right. Well, it's evening for you. It's morning for me. So you're about ready to go to bed?
No, it's 9 p.m.
Oh, is it 9? Okay. All right. Well, you got a couple hours.
3 hours of work to do.
Time for a little cocktail
I wish. I will be no more good with cocktail.
Yeah.
I tell you.
Oh, man.
All right.
All right. I get it.
Okay.
All right. Have a good night, girl.
Well, much. Yeah, good night, Dean.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, will do.
Okay, bye.